I'm Sean from Offload, Rugby Media.
This is Simeon, also known as the TikTok Ref.
Hi guys, I'm Murray, also known as Blissful Rugby HQ.
And welcome to Season 2
of the Rugby
Connection
Podcast.
Hope you're ready for it.
For the fans.
By the fans.
Hello, welcome to Season 2 of the Rugby Connection Podcast. We're back. It's been a long wait. Simeon, how are you? You've got a lot of changes recently. You're now Scottish, so how's Edinburgh?
Well, yes, as we can see, I'm very much from holding Scotland. I'm in my uni flat. I am moved into Edinburgh. Started reffing with Edinburgh Rugby in the SRU. It has been a crack so far. It was
Right.
What I found, and I thought I was going to bring this up. Scottish rugby, the level of... I'm obviously reffing at a bit of a higher level than I was, but the level of community rugby in Scotland seems so much higher than in Wales. This is just an opinion on what I've seen. The way they play is so much faster, so much high pace. Maybe it's how I like playing more, but it replicates the national team so well. And I love a good... Everyone knows who refs. Everyone knows who I ref. I love a fast game, and it is... Scottish rugby suits me to a T. But fair play, absolutely loving Edinburgh. It's a crack of a city. Definitely haven't gotten drunk yet, and we'll continue that. And as a new segment, a brand new segment, part of Season 2 of the Rugby Connection podcast, is Simeon's Drink of the Week. And we're starting it very, very Scottish with a nice cold can, or it's not that cold, of Iron Brew. Full fat sugar, the proper type.
A class. It's not the proper because we've changed the rest of it, but it's close as you'll get. But yeah, it's fine. Glad to see you're proper English Scottish, and I did tell you that the SRU are better, so there you go. Sean,
I have enjoyed their setup. I have enjoyed it.
Sean, you've been a busy lad as well. You've been away to Paris and that. How you been?
I've been good, thank you, Murray. First of all, I just have to say, I think we need to get a fact check on Simeon there, the fact that he hasn't got drunk yet. But anyway, we'll leave that for later.
Definitely wasn't in an Irish bar either. Definitely not 8 pints of Guinness. Could never be me.
Yeah, I'd say it's been wild. I've been pretty good. Thank you, lads. Good to be back. A lot of rugby. Well, a fair bit of rugby has gone on for me personally, even though we've been on a break and it's kind of been off season. But it's all been good. And Paris was pretty good last week. Class experience. Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
How's you been getting on, Murray?
I'm all right. Bit of a mixed bag. Was at Edinburgh's new stadium, ERS. I was with you, Simeon, for the opening day, but I was also at the first game at ERS. I was at Newcastle Falcons. Result didn't go our way, but it's a pre-season game, and you know what? That atmosphere, it's completely different. It hits completely different. It's so loud, and that wasn't even full capacity. And yeah, I'm looking forward to going to the ERS on a more regular basis. Haven't played as much as I wanted. Didn't get a lot of game time in a tournament a few weeks ago, and then wasn't available because of the Newcastle game, and got ruled out of a game from this week past there just because shin splints. Never had them, and I don't want them again because they absolutely suck. You can't do anything. It's just rest. It's shit. It really is. So hopefully be back this week coming, and funnily enough, the team we're meant to be playing is my former team. So there you go.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
that's spicy.
It'll be all right. It should be a good game regardless. But fingers crossed that we get the game and I'm fully fit again. And yeah, I'm just itching to get back out. But the lads did well yesterday. I don't know if you've seen it on my Instagram. The first team
Massive win.
Put 80 on the west of Scotland, and the Crusaders put 60 on Bo'ness. Fantastic. That's the Crusaders season up and running. That's their first win of the season, and the first continue their great form as well. So let's just keep it going.
Happy days.
Yeah,
we have got a lot of rugby to talk about. Premiership is back. Rugby Championship is fully underway. Top 4 teams underway, and Sean will be very happy with this. The Sevens is back as well, so we'll discuss that as well. But
the women's.
And the women's, yes, we'll discuss that as well. Yes, of course. Premiership rugby returned on Friday night, and on paper, it was a mouth-watering game for the neutrals. Bristol Bears versus newly promoted Saracens. 26-9 to Saracens. It's like they never left. Callum Sheedy scored all 9 of Bristol's points in the first 20 minutes of the game. Nothing happened after that. I will praise Alex Lozowski, though. That move that he had to Montpellier last season has made him a whole different player, and he is phenomenal. There was only the one try in the game. It was Alex Lewington in the corner. Nice little grubber from Lozowski, but the rest of the points from Saracens came from the boot of Alex Lozowski. One big talking point from Bristol Bears, Charles Piutau. I don't know if you lads have seen it.
As much as I didn't get to watch any rugby this weekend apart from a game because I've been nursing and reffing, I did see that thing, and it was inches from a try. It was beautiful.
Just Charles Piutau taking the piss, and that's literally what I've wrote it down. Just he's on a whole different level. You give that man space, blink, and he's away. And like Simeon just said, it was a shame that they didn't finish off the try at the end. But you know what? Still a lot to look forward to. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. Welcome back, Saracens. I did think they were going to struggle this game. I thought Bears were going to give them the fright they needed. Was not the case. So fair play to them.
Yeah.
Chiefs versus Tigers.
I saw the score.
I am disappointed, but you know what? I'm being realistic. Chiefs did not deserve to be winning that game. 20 points to 5 at halftime to Leicester Tigers. Freddie Stewart, Matt Scott, and Harry Potter all scoring for Leicester Tigers in the first half alone. Unreal. This is the Leicester Tiger of old. These are definitely ones to watch. Not a whole lot to say. Dolly for Leicester Tigers got a double in the second half as well. Exeter Chiefs did get the last say in the game with Sam Hidalgo-Klein dotting over, but wasn't enough. 34-19 to the Leicester Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was listening to the first episode of the season 2, actually, of another podcast. I don't know whether we're a rival podcast of us yet, but the Rugby Pod. And Jim Hamilton, I was just listening to there only just before this. He was saying that I think he predicts Leicester to finish top 4. I think.
Yes.
And that actually kind of surprised me. But you know, the fact that obviously they just beat Exeter yesterday and they won the Challenge Cup last year. Now, to be honest, I think of them more as a kind of like a 6-7 team. You know, over their form over the last few years, but. Like that's a good start. That's a very good start.
I remember saying at the end of the season, start of our first season of this podcast, that Leicester at the tail end of the Prem last year were looking like the old Leicester, and we said it works for them, didn't we? I remember speaking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you have both said, credit where credit's due. It's like the old Leicester. Jim Hamlin's top 4 was a bit sketchy. It was a bit bad. He did pick Saracens in it. And left out Exeter and Bristol. But you know what? After round 1, he's got a point. They both lost.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we move on. Sharks versus Bath. Now, this was a weird game. So, Sale Sharks were absolutely dominant in the first half. Marlon Yard and Byron McGuigan both dotting over the line. It was 17-3 at halftime to Sale. But you know what Bath are like. They're one of those nitty-gritty teams. Juan Schumann gets a try for Bath. Orlando Bailey keeps the scoreboard ticking over with the boot, gets Bath in the lead, and in the last kick of the game, Kieran Wilkinson slots the win for Sale, so it finished 20 points to 19 to the Sale Sharks. So, just as Bath are one of those teams you never sleep on. Massive shout out though to Josh Bayliss, friend of the podcast. We've had him on. He's a great lad. Sadly, didn't get his wish this time. He says he always happens to score a try against Sale Sharks, but unlucky Josh, didn't happen this week, mate. But onwards and upwards. We move on straight away. Northampton Saints versus Gloucester. I actually had Gloucester to win this. This was not the case. 34-20 to the Saints. George Furbank was up and running very early on. It was a nice tight game to begin with at halftime, 10-5 at halftime, so not completely out of anyone's control, but yeah, I think Saints just got too comfy and Gloucester didn't really do much in the second half. Johnny May was on the scoreboard, but it was too late and yeah, Saints march on. London Irish versus Worcester. I did say that this was going to be probably the most underappreciated game of the weekend. And it was a good score. 36-24 to Worcester Warriors.
Happy days.
Yeah.
I like seeing Worcester win. They're always that team I just like to see win. And they've got I mean, we've talked about before, they've got a great team this year.
Yeah, definitely. They're recruiting and half of them aren't even back yet because of Lions duty on and international duty. The only one that really stood out that's one of the new Worcester players, is Willie Hines. He got on the scoreboard. Lewis scored. Nanai also scored for Worcester Warriors. Ollie Assel Collins did score for London Irish. He scored the first points of the game. He's just phenomenal. If you give that boy space, he's just going to score. And again, another shout out, London Irish captain Matt Rogerson. We've had him on the show as well. Great lad, great chat with him as well. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, just unlucky to the London Irish boys for not getting the win. But you know what? Congratulations to Worcester Warriors getting that season up and running from the word go. And lastly,
oh wait, very quickly, I should apologise for not being on that episode with Matt.
that's all good.
I was in a lecture.
It's fine. I actually improvised. I made up a question for you.
Cheers.
So that's fine. But you know, but you can listen to it like all our
Was it which referee is the biggest prick or something?
No, it was what do you think is good about being able to talk to a referee as the captain?
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that.
So yeah.
Very good, very good. Bravo.
And the last game of the Premierships, round 1, Newcastle Falcons versus defending champions Harlequins. Now this game was a lot tighter than realistically it should have been. Finished 26 points to 20 to the Quins.
Jeez.
Unreal, absolutely phenomenal game. Tommaso Allen filling in for Marcus Smith as he was on Lions duty, so he's still getting time off. Man of the match, fantastic. And it's these two boys again. I mentioned them in the tail end of last season. Lewis Liner getting a double, and the flyer from Newcastle, Adam Radwan, up and running as well. Absolutely zero complaints. And you know what? It was a great game. I think Newcastle was actually going to be one to watch because a lot of people, including myself, had them bottom of the table. I mean, you can't get relegated this year anyway. It's
the first game of the season. We can't.
Yeah, no, you can't. Right, and like there's already people saying that Exeter Chiefs are going to finish mid-table. It's the first game. Nobody knows that.
They could finish last for all we know.
Yeah, they could. Don't say that.
I don't.
Yeah,
but they could finish last.
So, yeah, it could go anywhere. I mean, Saracens are up and running, so they might win the league. I hope they don't, but they might not. I've said they'll struggle to finish in the top 4. So there's a lot of talking points already from round 1, and that's what you want from the Premiership.
Yeah. I do have a question for us, not on Premiership, very quickly before we get. But as we're thinking more into others, unless you want to finish quickly, but I've got some non-Premiership.
I was just going to ask you a quick, like very early on predictions for the Premiership.
Okay, that works because I was going to ask about the United Rugby Championship. So
yeah, we'll go into that. So it's fine, don't worry.
So who we think's going to win the Prem?
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, who do you think's going to win it, and who's going to be in the final as well? We'll just go for that. I don't need scores or that yet because that's
yeah. No, I'm going to say I will go with. I'll stay with Exeter. I think Exeter's Exeter. It's a safe choice. Exeter against Leicester. I'll go Leicester. I'll be nice to Leicester for once in my life.
Nice. Okay. Sean?
It's a tough question there this early on. I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't want to say it because it's a bit too similar to how things panned out last year. But I'm going to go with like a Quins Bristol final. Nice. With maybe Bristol to win, maybe. I don't know. Now that's just a bit of a wild one.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a repeat final. I think we're going to get a Quins Chiefs final, but I think the tables have been turned. I think Chiefs will. I feel like Quins will want to prove why they're champions and they want to keep a hold of it.
Yeah.
But Exeter didn't even finish top of the table last year. They're hurting. They're angry, especially now that they've lost the first game. They want their trophy back. And I feel like now they're going to just be on a surge. So, who knows? But yeah.
So, what are we thinking about Rugby United champion just before? Because that kicks off next week.
It does, yes.
Who's going to win it this year?
It's good.
I know you say one choice.
One choice.
One choice.
Munster.
Fair, Sean.
Oh, Simeon, guys, you really put me on the spot here today. I'm just gonna say who I want to win, not who I necessarily think is going to win. I'm just going to say Connacht because I'm just going to say it. I think we can all agree here, though, that we don't want Leinster to win again.
Yes.
I think,
No. Well,
I'm going to join in the Irish theme. I'm going to join in the Irish theme and say Ulster's going to win.
I like that. I like that.
I didn't think we were going to see that flag this early.
They signed Wayne. They signed him. They finally
Yes.
Oh, what a sign!
Huge signing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Southern Hemisphere talent, the Rugby Championship, that's well underway. New Zealand battered Australia easily past few weeks. South Africa hurt Argentina. But Australia versus South Africa, times have changed. A hero returned. Quade Cooper returned.
Oh, no. Sorry. No. Quade Cooper versus South Africa.
Quade Cooper versus South Africa is a different breed. And it's first of all, it was amazing to see Quade back in the gold jersey. It just seems natural. And
yeah,
my God, he does not age.
He's mad,
he's just insanely talented. But we'll talk about this week's games. We don't need to repeat.
Dwell into the past.
Yeah, no, we don't need to dwell into the past. Australia versus South Africa. Before that, we get into the game. Massive congratulations to Michael Hooper, who is now the most capped Australian captain. As a captain, 60 caps as a Wallaby captain.
Jeez.
So I feel like he's just been around for absolute ages. So
he's not even that old.
Is that his total caps? 60 caps, or does he get more?
No, that's just as captain, 60 caps.
Yeah. He's got over 100 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, that's class. Yeah, some player.
And straight into the game, Len Ikitau getting a double. That boy is definitely one to watch. The outside centre, phenomenal. It just made it look so easy with his play. But the man of the hour in that game, Tani Alatupo, Tongan Thor, bringing his Maverick style, setting up Kurabeti in the corner. It was absolutely beautiful to see. And you know what? Kurabeti gets credit himself because 5 minutes later, he gets his second try. He absolutely split the South African defence apart. I've never seen South African get torn up like that in a while. Under Rassie Erasmus, anyway, I've never seen them be that split on defensive. But you know what? Fair play for Dave Rennie's side. It didn't work against the All Blacks. They were found out so bad in the 3 tests against New Zealand. I think 5 interceptions New Zealand got over the 3 tests. You hate to see it, but it makes for joyful watching. But
so we love to see it at the same time.
Fans love to see it, but Wallabies players and coach and staff would hate it. So there you go.
Yeah.
But whatever Dave Rennie's brought in, Quade Cooper, it's definitely worked. And you know what? I think this is just the year of age is just a number. Alan Wynne-Jones with his career-ending injury, he came back in not even 2 months. Came back
and still looked class.
And still looked amazing. Mornay Stain, 12 years repeat. He's a Lion Slayer and still going strong. And Quade Cooper. So you know what that means, lads. Let's bring back Gavin Henson for Wales.
Yes, I've seen this summer. I was like, all we need now is bring back Gavin, and we'll just those old penalties be slotting over from miles away. He plays for a local football club. No, he plays rugby league. He then played football, now he plays rugby league. With my old PE teacher.
There you go. There's a little fun fact for the day. Still sticking with the Rugby Championship, New Zealand, Argentina. Now, New Zealand did win, still just too strong at the end of the day, but Argentina had improved greatly compared to last week. And all I'm saying is, as an Edinburgh fan, we cannot wait for Emiliano Buffelli to rock up. He slotted all 13 points for Argentina. Did not actually realise until this game he was a great kicker off the tee.
No, I didn't know.
I did not notice that, but he finished a great crossfield kick try as well. And who doesn't love a crossfield try? They're just simply beautiful, regardless of what team it is. Damien McKenzie was at 10 for a change for New Zealand.
Nice. Happy days.
Nice to see Jordy Barrett at 15. You know what? The squad depth of New Zealand is frightening.
We don't need to talk about it because
No, we don't. We don't need to go
it's
into
scary,
detail.
and it will make me sad.
Oh, it makes me sad. I was looking at it the other day, and just the options at 10, Richie Mwanga, Bowden Barrett, and Damien McKenzie. I'm like, that's not even
Even
funny.
O'Terry Black.
Tory Black, my boy. If you're regular listeners to season 1, I love Tory Black. It's just a shame that he's now in Japan, so I can't watch him play. Quick question for you lads. So next week for the Rugby Championship, Australia versus Argentina.
Australia.
I think that now. At the start of the tournament, I'd
say
Argentina. Yeah, but Australia are.
Well, no, here we go. They start Quade Cooper, they win, they don't, they lose. That's my.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would like to say Argentina. Like, I think it's been a bit of a poor campaign for them so far in the Rugby Championship, but you want to see them get a win. Because they
had a really good one last year. They had a really good championship last year.
Yeah, I mean, like on their day, they're a brilliant team, but then it's just like it feels like they've kind of collapsed since the summer, which is just a pity. Like, well, I think maybe they haven't collapsed; they've just been outclassed, which is a pity. But Argentina are always one of those teams that we like to see do well.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like I've just said, Buffelli, he's going to get spoke a lot this season. If you can keep him fit. Edinburgh's a dark horse.
Yeah,
you've seen it before. Everyone writes off. I'm not saying Edinburgh's going to win the URC or compete. I hope they do well. Obviously, they're Simmons' adopted team as well. But
I've got 2 adopted teams now.
We've a couple of years ago, we weren't in the best form. Got Tim Visser and became top try scorer 3 seasons running. Duhan van der Merwe then slotted in that role, and we all know how good Duhan van der Merwe is. And now we've got Emiliano Buffelli.
Indeed.
It still doesn't feel real that we've managed to bag him.
It's a bit of an odd one.
It is an odd one. It's a great odd one.
And a Champions Cup side, signing a great player, they really need it, don't they? Or a Challenge Cup side. Sorry, I meant to say Challenge Cup there. Obviously, you're not in the Champions Cup.
Shush.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. My other team's in it. It's fine.
I'm sorry. I'll take that back.
It's fine. You know what? The Challenge Cup is actually the perfect
place. Yeah.
European tournament for Edinburgh right now. And like I said, with Mike Blair at the realm, it is exciting. The youngsters coming through, the players that they've brought in, they seem to be gelling well already. I mean, they put 50 on Benetton.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah, good win.
Again, just a pre-season, but it does look great, and you'll love to see it.
Especially against the best team in the world.
Best team in the world, yeah. We discussed that. They beat the Bulls, and
Bulls beat South Africa. South Africa beat the Lions. Done.
Yeah. So Benetton's better, but they don't have their talisman anymore because Garbisi's in France. So
that's sad.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah. Sean, France. Top 14.
Top 14. Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, I'll touch on, actually, I didn't really mention much at the start when Murray asked, but I'll touch on the Racing against La Rochelle match that I was at last weekend. It hasn't really sunk in yet that I was actually there. It was a surreal experience, to be in Paris in the La Défense Arena, which is Europe's largest indoor venue. I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, indoor arena. Yeah.
Wait, is it bigger than the Principality with the roof shut?
No,
no. That doesn't count.
No, it's not even big. It's not bigger than the Aviva. I think it can only hold. I think I looked it up. I think it was only 40,000 it can hold, but that's still pretty big for an indoor arena. That's still pretty
is very big.
Yeah. I mean, it's an unreal stadium, and they do their entertainment very well over there at Racing. Yeah, like the the game itself was a bit kind of weird. It was a bit kind of dull. There weren't too many tries. La Rochelle were terrible. They were so bad. Well, and then there was the penalty try, which Ronan O'Gara was furious at, that Racing got.
Ronan O'Gara annoys me so much. Sorry, all through the Lions, I just can't stand them. Like, great rugby player, can't stand them as a commentator.
Yeah, I think he doesn't get his words out well sometimes, but he actually provides. I think he provides a lot of insight, though. In fairness, he just doesn't. He's not very good at getting the words right. That's what I find.
I'll let you have that.
Yeah. Anyway, he was furious. And then obviously, I think I told you boys anyway, but the referee had to get stretchered off, which was very bizarre. that was that was just classic France. When you think about that, yeah, that was pretty mad.
I mean,
but
I
then
did pull my hamstring in my first game in Scotland in the first 10 minutes, but I kept going. So clearly, Welsh Scottish refs are built different.
yeah, that built different. Yeah, that was pretty much. Actually, I'm actually not sure if I told you this, boys, but after the game, they had a mini concert after the game on the pitch, and all the fans could go onto the pitch. I was on the pitch. It was mad. It was so weird because like just after the game, they started letting people onto the pitch, and I was like, oh my god, I'm walking on like the turf at La Défense Arena, like where the players just played, like Vakatawa and Fiku were just on this pitch right before me, and I'm standing there. So that was pretty cool. Like they had like a mini concert, and yeah, that was pretty sick. Yeah, anyway, that's enough of me rambling about my time in Paris. But yeah, that was great fun. Now actually getting onto the top 14, which is what I'm here to talk about. So there's actually been a couple upsets. So there's 3 rounds, and 3 rounds have finished so far. A couple upsets. Biarritz beat Bordeaux in the first round, 27-15, which is a bit of an upset. Obviously, Biarritz only got promoted, so that's a bit of an upset. Lyon beat Clermont 28-19. I think Lyon are a solid team, but didn't think they'd be up for beating the likes of Clermont.
Clermont's so hit and miss.
Yeah, and then what I'm just about to tell you next will just confirm that. Clermont lost 34-30 to Cast in the second round, and then Biarritz beat Racing actually, which was just, I think it was yesterday, 28-19 after Racing got that.
Biarritz to win. Biarritz to win.
Yeah, I mean, like that's not an easy feat for Brits. You just beat Racing, a team who won their first 2 rounds. It was a pretty good Racing team as well. And Biarritz, who just got promoted, who have been 7 years, I think, or something. I heard recently in the Pro D2, and their own. I think they're 2 from 2 or something, or how many? I don't know if they won their 3rd round, but yeah, that's pretty good. And then what was it? Yeah, and then it's a few shocks. Like Toulon are without a win. 0 from 2. They yet to play the 3rd round tonight against Stade Francais, but 0-2. La Rochelle are 0-3, haven't won a game yet. Yeah, and that's all I have to say. It's been a bit crazy. Like, I mean, the top 14 is a bit of a bizarre league in general, but yeah, that's my update so far. Keep an eye on it if you want. I find it's quite entertaining at times, but other times not so much.
It just sounds mad. Like all the big front runners have not won.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it kind of interesting. I think it's similar kind of to what the space the Premiership is coming to now, where it can nearly any team, even if you're a team that regularly finishes in 10th, can even push into top 4. That kind of way.
That's what I like. That's what I like.
Yeah, you like to see it. You love to see that.
We love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, the Sevens, Vancouver, my old home.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's back. Are we all delighted?
Yes, I watched a little bit of it, but I watched a little bit when I could.
Yeah, I mean it's great to have it back. It's 18 months since we've had the HSBC World 7 Series, and it's obviously it's a little bit truncated this time around in terms of teams. There's no Fiji, there's no Australia, no New Zealand, no South Africa, but there are some invitational teams like Hong Kong and Jamaica.
And you got GB.
GB are in it for the first time on the World Series, which is interesting. I can only really speak from an Irish point of view. I've only really been following the Ireland game so far. Ireland won against Hong Kong yesterday, Hong Kong 21-14 or something like that. And then today, quarterfinal win. It went to extra time, golden try, which was actually very exciting. It was 7-7 in the match, and then obviously Ireland scored and beat. Was it Hong Kong again? It was Hong Kong again, yeah, to advance to the semi-finals. And Ireland drew with GB yesterday, 7-7. So that's what it's been so far. GB actually I remember this time when we were talking about the Olympics, how Luke Trahan wasn't playing for GB. He is now. He finally gets.
I know. I saw. Luke Morgan's also in the setup, which is good to see. The Ospreys flyer. He's really underrated player, Luke Morgan.
Okay, that's very interesting. I mean, it's nice for these teams to be able to blood some players. Ireland have definitely blooded some players. There's only 3 of the core. Yeah, only 3 of the core. And there's a couple under 20 players. I know Shane Jennings, he scored a try. Ireland under 20 centre, he scored a try today against Hong Kong. So it's nice to see these young players, and it's great to have Sevens back. I'm pretty happy, boys.
Happy days.
Yeah.
I do. There is a little thing, because if everyone listens to us, I'm not the biggest Sevens follower. Kind of keep tabs on it, but I like you to just go for it. So, but I would absolutely love the mint green Scotland Sevens jersey this year. It is absolutely beautiful.
I want the blue one.
That's fine. We're not clashing then. And there was one I seen, and it was obviously like one of the invitational teams. Mexico's sevens jersey is absolutely stunning. If anyone can help me find that, you're a legend for life, because it is
Harvey, we're talking to you now.
Harvey will probably know where it is. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the king of jerseys.
I need to get something before we talk about the women's. I need to get another fleague.
Of
That's
course.
fine. I could start it off because I know the score.
Please do, yes.
So
You go with the score.
if you've not been up, if you're not up to date, Rugby are doing the World Cup qualifiers for the Women's World Cup. It's now next year because of COVID, so everything gets pushed back. And Scotland women beat Spain tonight, 27-22. Great game. And they came back from. They were getting beat at halftime, so yeah, even better.
Yeah, it was a great game. I have now bought a very big Scottish flag. This one's too big to fit on my wall. This will be coming.
Yes,
Well, actually, we're doing more of a room tour. I've got another Scottish flag. If anyone follows my TikTok, you'll actually know at the TikTok ref.
New improvised segment by Simeon here.
Simeon and his flags. I've got the old Scottish flag, which I don't know the name of. I've forgotten it. But
that's the Royal Scottish flag. It's not
the
the
Royal
old.
Scottish flag. I quite like that flag.
It's not old. It still gets used. It's a royalty.
Well, I know it does because I've walked around Edinburgh enough to see it everywhere.
There you go.
But it was great watching a Scotland game in Scotland for the first time. Was sat in a flat, my adopted flat, and they all started singing "Flower for Scotland," but they've got freshers flu, not COVID. We've checked, and they couldn't sing it properly, but it was very funny. Also, other funny note in this game, I apparently said, I can't remember what it was now. I shouted at TV, and I apparently sounded really Scottish. So
there you go. He's embracing it already. I have got one. I have got one question for you, though, Simeon, because I know what channel the women's game was on. How did you find listening to in Gaelic?
Someone spoke Gaelic next to me.
Oh, happy days.
So they were like, I was like, I forgot where this is being played, and then they were like, oh, it's being played in Italy. I was like, right, cheers for that one. So absolute great game. Watched the whole game, really got into it. It was obviously I was born in Scotland, but if you were as a neutral, it's the best type of game to watch. It was try. Everyone was scoring tries, and it was no one knew who was going to win. We go through the game. I apologize, I can't think of all the names of all the players. I don't know them all. Big standout for me was the Scottish number 11. Scotland scored this great try off a kickoff, ran the whole pitch. It was beautiful, but she is rapid, absolutely rapid. Great player. The Scottish forwards really fronted up and scored some good maul tries and some good tries around the breakdown. Helen Nelson, as always, controlling the game from 10 beautifully. What a player. If there was a British and Irish Lions women's team, she would be in and around that team. Fantastic player. Love Helen Nelson. Actually, the Scottish 10, 12, 13, I know they mix it up sometimes with who they're in and out of it, but it always, like Lisa Thompson and players like that, but they're always so good, all of them. There's that core midfield of Scotland is so good.
Just because you mentioned like British Irish Lionesses, there's 4 or 5 Scottish women I could see actually in contention.
Yeah, there's a few. Obviously, the majority of that team will be English.
Of course, but
there will be some. But at the end of that game, what a few minutes! It was right on the line. I was sat there in the flat going, "They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose." They held their ground, won a turnover penalty, got the line out, booted it off the pitch. Not like Australia did. No, who was it? France. It was France.
It was France that don't kick it out.
But they won that. Their next game is against Ireland, and I can't watch it because I'm reffing. So I'm very annoyed about that. I might watch on the bus on the way back, or if it's on in the clubhouse up at Haddington. But
I mean, that will be a massive game. I mean,
that'll be a good game.
Yeah.
Ireland's been. I can't remember the score, but I know they've been poor.
Yeah, lost to Spain.
Yeah, they lost to Spain. Scotland beat Spain, but they did beat Italy.
Yeah, beat Italy today. So yeah, last week, in fairness, all credit to Spain. Massive, pretty massive upset.
Setup in the women's. Spain
they do.
They've got a better setup in the women's than they do the men's.
They do. But I mean, that's class for them considering they're not in the Six Nations. 8-7, very disappointing from an Irish point of view. But then we obviously bounced back today against Italy.
And Italy again, very good team in the women's.
Yes,
so it was a good win. Referee talk, chaps. I'm sure we've all missed this.
Just a quick note. Sorry, Simon. Just big, massive shout out to Rhoda Lloyd of Scotland Women. We've spoke to her briefly. Not interviewed her yet, but fingers crossed we get that down the line. And she seems very keen to come speak to us. So always a nice positive to have more fans, viewers.
Yeah, we love to see it.
Yes.
We do have clips of ref talk, and anyone who's followed my TikTok recently, I haven't been making videos purely because there's not been much rugby, and I've been very busy. But rugby is back and coming back strong, and people have been sending in their videos, and we've got some from a few weeks ago. I just got like one or two things I just want to talk through. So we're going to start off with last week. Was it last week? Jordy Barrett against Argentina. I am sure you've all seen it. The kick to the face.
Yes.
Murray, you looked a bit lost there.
No, I was just when you said the kick.
People are saying this isn't a red card.
Yes.
We've all of us on the Rugby Connection podcast have played rugby, and I will do a demonstration with my mini rugby ball. We're really getting my uni room out today.
Oh, he's loving this now.
I know. I've got my mini. Pro
he was
12.
never this active in Wales.
I know. I'm much happier here. So when you play fullback, sliders are coming off as well. We're really getting into this. You go up and put your knee up. You put your knee up, and that's how you coach. And it's to protect you and not get blocked. If you got knee to head, it would be a rugby incident. No further matters. You are not trained to jump up, look at the player in front of you, and whack your studs out in their eyes. That is a direct red card. It is reckless. It is dangerous, and there is no ifs and buts. And people who are saying it's not, you haven't played fullback or been coached fullback properly, because it is really. I mean, I know concussion's really dangerous, but that's losing an eye.
Yeah.
You could lose an eye from that. And I think, I criticise rugby on a lot of things, of how things are reffed consistently. I've always seen that given a red card. It was an issue.
Yes.
It was an issue 2-3 years ago, and it was happening all the time. Dan Evans, the Highlanders, loads of teams.
Adam Hastings got done for it last season.
Yeah, and it's always a red card. So
yes.
I think we can all agree everyone needs to not talk about that one anymore. And it's a red card, and anyone who says it isn't, please don't talk to me.
It's all right, because the worst tackle that is definitely a red card happened yesterday in the top 14. That is shocking.
So I made a video on this earlier, and it's really blown up, this video.
My comments blown up as well.
I see you. I can't be. I've just been watching this. Right, and I can't. Part of this is different. That Jordy Barrett one, it pisses me off why people don't say it's a red. This one is always a red, but I get why people aren't saying it, because it's not what people. The argument is, the mitigation is it's no shoulder to head contact, and we know it's shoulder to shoulder. Sean, you can start singing if you like. But it was shoulder to head. It wasn't shoulder to head. It was shoulder to shoulder. But what happened? A red card doesn't have to be that. There's lots of things which can be a red card. If it's reckless and dangerous at a high degree of force and could cause serious injury, it's a red card. So that's why if you slide tackle someone and hit them in the ankles, that's a red card still. You slide someone and hit them in the back, that's a red card. It doesn't have to be head contact always. What happens is both players, the player catching the ball, the scrum half, is jumping up and he's still in the air, and there's a tackle made against him. I think he was a prop, the top 14 prop, I don't know what club he was, jumps. He is literally they're both in the air. He jumps into him, makes shoulder to shoulder contact at direct force, and then this guy just collapses on the ground. It is so reckless, so high degree. And I always talk about, if you can see the kicker and you see him catching it, you know you can make a low tackle. There's time to make the low tackle. The fact of the matter is, if that player went low, he's gained more momentum by jumping up at the player. If he'd always stayed on his feet and gone low, that scrum half would have hit the ground before he got tackled, and that would have been an amazing tackle. But alas, he's having a hefty bad, and it's the most reckless thing I've ever seen. That's like one of the worst things.
Yeah. What was that? A late tackle as well, Simeon?
No, he had the ball. I don't know. I can't remember now.
You told me the ball has to be away for 2 seconds. That was easy 5 seconds, and he absolutely melted the boy.
Oh, could it well be? Well, it was. If it was late, I'm pretty sure it was late. So yeah. Other little referee things, I can go through these quickly. The South Africa Australia yesterday, we all saw it. Was it shoulder to shoulder? Was it shoulder to head? I thought it was shoulder to shoulder. and the referees agreed, gave yellow card. I thought that they talked that through really well. They were saying red, and then they brought it down. I thought that was done really well. In the women's Scotland-Spain game, there was 2 yellows. I can't remember the first one was for. I think it was just too many penalties. But the second yellow was actually head-to-head contact. So both players went with the head. The Spain player didn't lower that much, but the Scotland player did, which made it a mitigation for yellow. I completely agree was a good decision to make. You guys got to remember, head-to-head contact is red card. If there's no mitigation in it, you can lower, and that's putting yourself at risk, opposed to others. Talking from a perspective of what I've been reffing, make sure you get back on side, because I reffed a game yesterday and I gave nearly 10 offside penalties. There was yellow cards for him. Like, I was pulling out yellow for offside.
Jesus.
It was actually Hala 5 under 18s. Did not get back on side to save lives.
Well, actually, while you mentioned offside there, in the game that I played 2 weeks ago, we played against Loughrea, and obviously I played scrum half. I actually got a player sin binned because they weren't back 10, and I, being the cheeky scrum half that I am, ran straight into him and he got sin. but my teammates were really angry at me because it was on their 5 meter line. I didn't pass the ball, but so there's pros and cons. At least I got him sin binned.
John, I'm proud of you for that one, actually.
I could just feel that Sean's like a Faf de Klerk scrum half, just an absolute pain.
What an Irish
just a wind-up merchant. Like, there's a video up on YouTube, Faf de Klerk scrum half shithousery. I feel like that could be Sean Lenihan.
Maybe. I agree.
I mean, maybe.
Do you know what I also find funny now is, before when we used to go on this podcast last season, your accents were. I honestly didn't have a clue what you guys were half on about half the time. In where I am, obviously I'm with all the Scots, so Murray, you're basically second nature to me now. But Sean, there are so many Irish people here. There's so many. So I'm just like, I get you. I understand you all. Yeah. I mean, I go out drinking with the Irish. It's brilliant.
And your missus is Irish.
Northern Irish.
Same thing. I'll fight anyone that says it's not.
Looks like you'll be fighting me and Simeon then.
Right. So there's going to be some issues caused. Come back next week if Murray survived an IRA attack.
And also she'll cancel because Simeon just dropped that. So there you go. It was nice knowing you.
So
fan question.
We might need a few bleeps in this episode. But yes, and I think, guys, we've got questions.
Yeah.
Not from you, because you didn't do it. I'm mad at you for that.
I've been a good
Don't care.
I can tell you all about CPR and infection prevention if you'd like. I don't want to really.
I'm first aid trained, so I know CPR and all that. Don't worry.
Oh, nice.
All right,
that's a nice skill to have.
Nursing for a second. On an infant, how many fingers do you use to CPR?
1 or 2.
2. 2. Well done. 2. Good work.
1 if it's really, really small.
Yeah.
Because Simeon didn't have a question, there's 2 on my page, but I think we should answer them. Well, not answer them both, but one we had already answered. I think we've answered this. It's probably come up about 4 times you probably know exactly what it is. It's answered every single time. Yeah. It's answered if someone asks this every single time I put out a thing on my page, if they want to ask a question. This one always comes up, even though we answer it on the podcast.
Let's see how fast we can answer it. Let's do it. Let's see how fast we can answer it. This will be because this one's been answered. This is my cock up for not making a video. We're going to see how fast we can answer this question.
Will I read it out then, Murray? Or
yeah, read. I don't know what you're on about really, so read it out, please.
I don't mind reading it. I think I've actually guessed it. If I get this right.
Yeah, guess what it is.
I've not checked your account in a couple of hours just to see what it was.
Yeah.
It's like, who do you think is going to win the World Cup, and how do you think your retrospective countries are going to do in that World Cup? So it's another World Cup question, 2 years out from the bloody thing.
That's exactly what the question was. Well done, Murray.
Should we let's make this interesting, right? We'll change that. Dark horse of the World Cup. Fiji, okay. Sean? I'm sure not Sean, Murray.
Scotland.
Scotland, I agree, Scotland. Okay.
Okay, nice.
See, Scotland's rubbing off on him. He's just agreeing with me now. It's great.
I'm all dressed for the attire.
Scotland is fixing this podcast now that Murray and Simeon get along better now. So
I know. It's going to be a Scotland just So,
Just wait till the Six Nations, and then we'll see where his loyalty lies.
I've got the missus family telling me I've got to support Ireland. Honestly,
Yeah, you'd probably be
I'm
supporting every
surprised.
country. Yeah, you'd probably be supporting every country in the Six Nations.
Well, no, honestly, guys, Six Nations is great. The weekend from Wales, Scotland, and Ireland play respective games. It's great. Welsh living in Scotland, Northern Irish girlfriend, sorted. We know who we're supporting this week.
Rugby wins that weekend.
Rugby wins that.
Rugby wins that weekend.
Unless England, France, and Italy win.
Who? Why would you say something like that? Although in the autumn tests, Sean's going to have to be Scottish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was thinking of supporting Tonga that day.
No,
because you're definitely not Tongan.
Well, I mean, maybe,
I could be Tongan. I could pass for Tongan. I don't think Sean can.
Probably not. No, I think my pale Irish skin, unfortunately, does not look Tongan at all.
What are our actual good questions? Not good, not necessarily bad question, but just other questions.
Will I read out the other one, Murray, or do you want to read out your own?
I don't know the other one. I just knew that popular one was World Cup winner and how your retrospective countries are doing.
Yeah.
Actually, the retrospective bit was quite a nice touch. So just
do you want to answer that? Yeah, answer that. Sir.
Simon, you have to speak on behalf of Wales for this because you're.
I can't speak about all three. Can I not?
No.
Oh.
Well, you could get an overview at the end.
We'll give you Canada. You can talk about Canada if you want.
As in all three, I'll do Canada. As in all three, they'll all at least make it to the quarters. I'll go with that. At least all make it to the quarters. I know that's probably not going to happen. I'm just saying it. Okay, just go along with it.
Well, me or Sean's heart gets broken in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Unless
or not.
Unless it's going to be Murray.
Unless the world goes absolutely mad and South Africa bomb out, which
that would be nice.
It could happen, but just because Sean said that I'll be the one crying.
Scotland, Ireland, I'm just hiding.
That's fair. Just because Sean said I'll be the one crying, we've made a semi-final in a World Cup, so
fair.
I made a third place.
There you go. See, it's a weird one. I could easily see Scotland, Ireland, and Wales getting quarterfinals.
Yeah,
but Scotland and Ireland in the same group with South Africa. So realistically, one of us are not going through. It's Ireland, but it's hard. Like we're still 2 years out.
Yeah.
Well, where's South Africa's form gone? Just saying.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we could see a lot more Razzie videos over the next 2 years.
Oh no. Who actually asked that question? Just to give them.
That was Rugby Place. So that's Fionn. He puts a lot of comments on my page. So thanks a lot, Fionn, for the question, and fair play getting top likes.
No disrespect to any of our fans. We love every interaction, every question. No more World Cup questions.
We're the World
until
Cup
the World Cup, until 2023. Then we'll start answering.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rugby between now and then.
Yes, Murray, what's your question?
I'll let you guess who it's from.
Kyle?
Hey! First question from Rugby Kyle this season. He is just the unofficial member of Rugby Connection, isn't he? He's just great lad, great support. He's asked, what are your favourite rugby media pages? So podcast, blogs, vlogs, YouTube, and we can't name ourselves.
Squidge Rugby. Gotta be Squidge Rugby.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Squidge for YouTube, and I'm going to actually like Andrew Ford as well. He does amazing content.
Oh, I love the highlight video, and they're really fun to watch. Like he does a lot of free stuff. He's
the only one that I can name that backed up that Liam Williams is a dirty player. So, I love him for that alone. But
I want to see a dirty Stuart Hogg video. That's all I'm saying.
You won't get it because he's not the dirty player. There's a dirty player 15 and he's not even in it. Liam Williams is on the wing for it though. So anyway, there you go. New season, same old Murray bashing Liam Williams rant. There you go. Squidge Rugby, Andrew Ford, podcast. I love the rugby pod, and it just made it better last week because I met Jim Hamilton. I can't believe I forgot to mention that at the start of the show.
I can't listen to him. He annoys me. So I can't listen to Jim.
I love Jim Hamilton. I've got so much time for Jim Hamilton. Rugby pod. The good, the bad, and the rugby. I actually do like it. I love who they get on.
Yeah, Mike Tyndall's actually. I quite like Mike Tyndall.
Lord Mike Tyndall. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. We didn't talk about the royal family though.
And Genji's actually really good on it. Ellis Genge when he's on it, and Haskell's Haskell.
I love Haskell. We all love.
Yeah, we all love James Haskell, but yeah, I think that's my standout. So I don't really listen to much podcasts and all that. I'm too busy trying to get us skyrocketing. I'm too busy on calls to clubs and players, and oh my god, I've been so busy. We've had 3 weeks break. I've not.
Well, I don't think any of that, but in different retrospects.
No, you've moved, but you've been like non-podcast related. I meant break.
Oh yeah. I've moved and drank a lot.
Yeah, I've not had the podcast break. I've been very busy, and it's just getting busier.
Yes. Yeah, my favorite rugby media pages are I think Squid Rugby is on top for me.
Yeah.
I think he is on top for everything. But I also do like the 42's Rugby Weekly podcast. So Murray Kinsella, Gavin Casey, and Bernard Jackman, they talk. It's good now. Sometimes you get a bit sick listening to them, but I think Murray Kinsella, he's a brilliant journalist. I don't know if you know him, lads, but he's an Irish journalist. He was in the Munster Academy actually, but he provides serious insight in his articles and when he's talking. And same with Bernard Jackman as well, from a coach and recruitment point of view. I really do like that podcast. And the other podcast that I do like is the French Rugby podcast. I love it. I love listening to Benjamin Kaiser's voice. Like him, he's such a French accent, but his English is so good.
Oh, I love it. It's great. Yeah,
yeah. Apparently, he's fluent in like Italian as well and something else. Like his stuff for languages is insane. And he was on co-commentary for one of the Champions Cup games once as well. He's so good to listen to. I just love listening to him.
Just a little more of a recommendation. It's more for Simeon. You could listen to it as well, Sean, if you want, but you'd be very lost for the most part. Just because Simeon's now in Scotland, there's a podcast called The Thistle Pod, and it's all Scottish rugby, so like grassroots levels.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about this yesterday. They're bringing referees on now.
On you go then. See you later. No, I'm kidding.
Simeon will sign for that pod, the massive transfer fee. Podcast transfer.
Yeah, SOU, I'm expecting 20 grand to live off of because I'm a poor uni student.
I think that's it, though. Have we got any more? Was our second question?
Yeah, one more question, and it's unsurprisingly or surprisingly, whichever way you look at it, it's from Kyle again.
He's cheating. He's trying to get his own views up. It's cheating.
So Kyle got the second most, and in fairness, it's a brilliant question. He got the second most liked question on this post. And he asked, you can get rid of one: Six Nations, Lions Tour, or World Cup. Which is it and why? I think that is a brilliant question.
Oh, right. Well, one, you can't get rid of the Six Nations.
Six Nations is the best competition.
Yeah, it's like it's part of rugby folklore. Like people that don't watch rugby watch the Six Nations.
I was talking to a lot of because I'm in all nursing accommodation. Like a lot of them aren't big into rugby, but they're always like, we will religiously watch Scotland or Ireland, respectively, in the Six Nations.
Yeah.
So that's staying. Six Nations stays for good.
I think you have to have a World Cup.
Yeah. I think the Lions, especially the last Lions tour, because the football was on.
It didn't get the coverage.
Unless you're a diehard rugby fan, I don't. As much as I love the Lions and I love the concept of it, I think the Lions would have to be the one that goes.
Yeah.
I would actually hate to see any of them go, but
yeah, that was my first instinct as well. I was like, it's got to be the Lions tour. Like, you got to keep the Six Nations in the World Cup. Like, although the Lions tour is brilliant, I could probably do without it, to be honest, if it was to.
Rude.
No, but out of all three of them, though, it would be my least favorite.
That's not. I wouldn't say it's my least favorite. It's just I love them all. It's just I wouldn't even
excited about a World Cup though than a Lions tour.
Yeah, well, I would.
But you've been Welsh for the most part, so a Lions tour to you is just a Welsh tour, isn't it?
Warren Gatland as a coach, yeah, it's just Wales playing anyway.
Until this year, where I was so buzzing for the Scotland lads this year. But yeah, I think a World Cup has more national pride behind it.
And so does Six Nations. I think
more,
Six Nations has the best national pride behind it.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good question. Okay,
So we'll see what happens to me during the Six Nations. I'll be hiding.
Somebody's just gonna have.
I'll be in a pub somewhere in Edinburgh screaming my head off at whoever's playing.
You're not coming. You're not going to any of the games.
Not this year. No, next year I'm going to go to Wales, Scotland, and Wales, Ireland. Not Wales, Ireland. Wales, Ireland, Scotland.
Do you mean the Six Nations of 2022?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's what I mean. That is the next Six Nations.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm
No,
going to go then.
Simeon was thinking of the autumn internationals or
If
something.
anyone wants to get me tickets 2 years in advance,
He's going to the autumn internationals. We're all
Yeah,
We're all going. I've got to pick you up at 10 p.m., Sean.
Yes, you do.
I
will.
at 5. You're in at 10. I'm going to be busy. I've got lectures that day. It's going to be a very busy day.
Yes, I know the feeling, and I'll be waiting for you, Simon. You better come pick me up. Well.
I guarantee you don't have lectures that day because it's a Saturday.
Well, no, because they arrive on the Friday.
Yeah, we're going in on Friday.
Are you going on Friday? Oh, sorry.
You stay for 2 nights.
And Harvey Allen's up as well. Mr. Harvey Allen is coming.
And then you
from
can
England.
all make it to more rooms. So you can then all make it on my wall.
On the wall. That's when you know you've made it. When you get on the wall.
I've got a personal issue with this. There's a photo of me and you. I should be on the wall already.
I'm gonna order that one. I forgot about that. I'm gonna order more photos next week. My mum didn't make it, so you know what? Don't feel bad.
Yeah, well, your mum follows me on TikTok, so she should have made it anyway. So, does she? Fair enough.
Mrs. Mum follows you both as well.
Thank you, Simeon's mum, for following us. We appreciate it.
I don't think your Mrs. Mum follows me, but that's fine. That's more details when your Mrs. comes across.
October. Nearly
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's fantastic. That's just us in a nutshell, and it's season 2. Who would have thought that? Like in March when we started this, just 3 guys talking absolute shit about rugby, with a little bit of knowledge behind it, but more passion than anything. That we are out on our 2nd season and interviewing professionals like Sean. You discussed this with me the other day. Obviously, Simeon was busy, which is fine, but like we were genuinely on a media call with London Irish Rugby.
Yeah,
like journalists and radio interviewers were waiting after us, so Rugby Connection actually got in first.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what, and just how quick they dealt with that. I know it was a bit of a shock to our system, and I kind of caught you off guard with it. I do apologise for that. But so just for people that are curious, I approached London Irish on the Tuesday, and we were in the media call Wednesday morning. So, massive thank you to London Irish. Definitely, hopefully that's the start of a beautiful partnership with them. Same to Bath Rugby. I mean, Bath, the boys at Bath were so great throughout emails, and Josh Bayliss was a class act. Simeon, you were on the call with Josh.
Yes, I did make that one for a little bit.
But Josh, great lad. Glasgow Warriors, Murray McCallum. That's the only professional interview out so far. But yeah, Murray's a great lad as well. We're just thankful for these opportunities.
We know you are.
Me, thank you. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we know.
Thanks.
We know, Murray, you're great. You don't have to talk to yourself about that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Sean.
Don't need to raise your self-esteem. We've got you.
I genuinely get these messages from Sean every time I mentioned it. Like, can you do the Murray interview? And he's like, why are you talking in like third person? I'm like, what?
I genuinely forgot about the Murray McCallum. I was like, what do you mean do the Murray interview? I was full on serious. I was like, why are you talking about yourself in third person? I was like, what?
Oh no, it was can you send Murray the link? And you're like, but why do you need the link? And I'm like, I don't need the link. I've got the link.
Yeah, that was funny and confusing at that time.
It was actually it's pretty funny because you two were unavailable for that. It was Murray in Murray. So, and we're from the same like region of Fife, so we had the same. Like, we've been at the same clubs and all that as well. So
Yeah.
it was just all the chats we have are fantastic. Oh, I forgot to mention this again. Like, for more ventures, 9th of October, I'm at Sandy Park in Exeter.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm so buzzing. Like,
And 30th of October, we're all getting
we're all
pissed in
together. Yeah,
Edinburgh.
we're all getting pissed in
Hey!
Edinburgh.
Can't
And
do it.
Harvey, who is another unofficial member. There is really 5 of us. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Unofficially, yes.
Unofficially, there's 5. Officially, there's 3.
Yes.
And you can take your pick at what 3 you want. And
Yeah. Make your starting team. Drop bench start.
yeah, drop that start. I've not been asked one of them in a while, to be honest.
I have noticed.
Yeah.
Well, if you're listening, go onto the page and give me drop bench starts. So I've got combined 15s coming in my ears, but I don't mind doing it. I love doing it. I've even this CEO of combined 15. So
yeah. Self-proclaimed CEO.
Combined 15s.
just because the ones I get asked, it's not even like just normal teams half the time. Like, I got asked how are Fife in the Springboks. So.
Oh, good old Johnny made it ahead of Shez and Colby on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
Murray ahead of Eden Estabeth.
even Elizabeth who like look at these arms like too big. There you go.
I am a member of the gym by Murrayfield now. It's all good. So he's back in the gym.
Ah, nice.
It's lovely. You can see, like, I'm running on the treadmill. I'm looking at Murrayfield. It's like, oh, happy days.
I feel like that sets up people for false hope where you're running towards Murrayfield and you're just never getting there.
What are you saying about my reffing?
Not you. I meant in general. You do realise if you actually referee on Murrayfield Stadium, well, probably me, because Sean will have to fly, and that's a bit harsh for him
We'll
to do
make Sean
that.
come. I'll make it. If I get a game in Murrayfield, if it's in finals weekend, if it's this season, next season, or whatever,
I will be there
There's a lot
interviewing.
of
I will
people
get a
on
media.
LinkedIn.
I demand a media lanyard, and I will stand there and I will interview Simeon for the show on what he's a co-host of. But yeah, bugger it. Why not?
come on the pitch. Simeon, how do you find the game?
Well, wasn't the best performance. I mean, there was a blatant red card, and I said play on. And
Yeah. Just got sorry for the kid, really.
this will be our first full season.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
next week, no, this Thursday, I'm guessing the Josh Bayliss interview will be available this coming Thursday.
Yep.
Indeed.
I was going to say I'd hope so because it should just be ready to go.
As we're just finishing now, I need to give a shout out to Penny Cook, who gave me a pie wrapped in something or other to eat now. So thank you, Penny Cook Rugby Club, for my pie.
I mean, is very much
Thank
looking
you very
forward to
much.
that.
Mark and
Yeah.
Dave, cheers.
I can't remember who it was. I wasn't actually at the game, sadly, because I was at the Edinburgh game. But somebody from Aberfeldy was looking forward to meeting me. So thank you for that. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I've been
well,
recognised too many times in Scotland. I was at the Watsonians Harriet's game. Some little kids just came over and took photos of me. I was like, okay. I thought I was getting away from all of this.
I got asked. So the first league game of the season, we're all drinking afterwards, and a few of the lads was like, down this drink and go live on TikTok and do it. I was like, no, I'm not going live on TikTok to do it. And they're like, why not? Because I've got to maintain like professionalism at some point.
I would. I'd 100% do that. Watch out for Wednesday. Wednesday evening, there might be some drunken videos.
On a Wednesday, you absolute animal.
It's a Wednesday.
No.
I'm in Scotland. You drink.
I mean, that is the occasion. The occasion is that it's a Wednesday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hear this in Northern Ireland
Oh.
all the time. Yeah.
Oh wait, you mean it's Wednesday? My apologies. I'm drinking as well for Wednesday then. My apologies.
I've had lectures all day. I'm gonna need a drink.
No. So next week, the Josh Bayliss interview will be available. great listen. Give it a watch, and massive thank you to Bath Rugby. And next week's episode, Premiership, Rugby Championship, Top 14. Is the Sevens on next week as well? Or
Potentially.
I think it could be next week. I know it's in Edmonton. It's in Canada, so I'd imagine it'd only be a week or two.
Yeah,
between
it's,
them.
it,
But yeah.
I know Canadian geography enough to know.
potentially the Sevens, and the start of the URC season.
Come on,
What are your overall thoughts? Are you actually looking forward to it? I feel like it's getting a lot of bashing before it started, so
We'll see how it goes. I'm not holding high hopes at the moment.
I'm looking forward to it. Like, as an Edinburgh fan, and really just an Edinburgh fan, I don't really have. I have a soft spot for Connacht, but I don't like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, yeah, it's this other team. I am an Edinburgh fan through and through. This new stadium, 7,800 capacity. It's what we needed, and the crowd is just going to get loud. And another bonus, crowds are back. How good is it that crowds are actually back at rugby?
It's great.
Yeah, it's class.
It makes all the difference, and can't really say much more apart from just thank you for all the support. Wouldn't have been able to get a season 2 without yous, and keep the questions coming. Follow us on TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel, listen to us on Spotify, share as best you can, get that word out there.
Facebook, Instagram, bang, bish, bosh.
Yeah, tag us in it. Yeah, go for it. Why not?
Grand.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has been Rugby Connection Podcast. See you next week.
Trot.
Goodbye.